Just brought home a 1976 Trans Am yesterday. It's been in storage since spring. I bought it back in April from the original owners. 92,000 miles, all stock. It was a daily driver for a guy that was a machinist at one of the aircraft plants, so it's a local car. Set out in the sun, out in the parking lot at Boeing for many, many years, so it's got a lot of sun damage, but overall it's pretty good shape. It's got a little bit of cancer starting to appear at the very bottom of the rear corners on both sides. It's got a little bit of rust on the pinch seam there on the fender, and again starting to show some rust around the rear window. Got a friend that owned a body shop and sold it, and now does word of mouth work out of his shop back at his personal property. And I had him take a look at the car, and he said this thing, it's a time capsule. He says the rust issues he sees with it are nothing big, and he can deal with them pretty easily. So plans are, I think, to get this car down to the body so that he can put it on his rotisserie, clean up the underside of it. You can see the sun damage on the hood from just the cracking of the old paint, the old 70s era paint without the clear coat, and then the moisture getting down in there and rusting, causing that rust to come up to the surface. Got the same issue over on the passenger front fender. But it's a complete car. It's still got the 8-track tape player in it. I'm gonna spend the first week or so just documenting everything, getting some good measurements. I've never taken a Trans Am or a F-body clear down to a body and completely emptying it out, so I want to make sure I do this right and take my time. It's obviously going to need a new windshield. Windshield's broke. It looks like they did some self-repair on some leaking. Didn't do a very good job with the sealer, so we'll have to get that all cleaned up. The interior is currently blue. It looks like a 92,000 mile car. It needs a console lid. Console needs a little bit of work. The dash pad's in great shape. But currently blue. I've debated on taking it into black, but I'm leaning back towards blue right now, and really all that has to do with the exterior color of the car. I really wanted a silver car with the red bird, but now I'm kind of leaning back towards a white car with a blue bird. This is kind of an interesting car because it's never really had any body work done per se. The front fender had a little damage from a parking lot accident that had to be reshot, but overall the car's still original metal, original paint. It's got a blue interior. It had a red bird, red decals on it. I like the red decals on the silver. That's kind of why I was thinking about the black interior, but I'm kind of leaning back towards leaving it blue, leaving it white, and just going with the blue stripe kit on it. So time will tell. I might change my mind, but right now, coming along the passenger side, don't really have the rust issue up on this fender like I did the other. The frame rails are great shape. The floor pans currently appear to be in great shape. Time will tell when I get the carpet out and look at them from the top side, but from the bottom side, they're solid. They've got some surface rust on them, but they're still wearing most of the original factory paint underneath them, which is kind of surprising because back in the 70s and 80s, this was one of those places where they used a lot of salt on the roads. But for some reason, this car just didn't seem to see a lot of salt damage per se. So yeah, really solid 400 auto car. Thinking it's probably gonna go back with warmed over 455. I want to retain the factory air. I want it to look factory. I'm going to retain the factory Rally 2s on it, unless I unless I come across a really nice set of honeycombs at the right price, which I really like. But I've already taken the wheels off, refinished them, and put some new rubber on there. They had their second set of Uniroyal steel radials on it when I got it. Those were put on the car back in the early 90s, and they were still holding air, but they were weather checked bad, and obviously hadn't been driven on in well over 15 years. So I put some BF Goodrich's on there and refinished the paint on the Rally 2s, and I've got a new set of trim rings for it. So let the fun begin. I'll start documenting it this afternoon. I'm going to get it up on some car rollers so I can roll it around the garage, move it over to the other side where it's out of the way, and then we're gonna start taking it apart starting next weekend. Hope to have it in the body shop by December. Like I said, I'm gonna take my time. I'm gonna do this right, so it's gonna take me a couple of months to disassemble, and then the body guy's gonna have it a while, and it'll probably take a lot longer to get it back together. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and get the dash pad restored while it's out. I'm gonna get the console restored while it's out. And then there's some hail damage on the car that's not really noticeable here, but it's gonna take the body guy a while. Well, we'll see how it goes.